Hey everyone, Steven here, and welcome to my little library of horrors. Well, it's finally far enough into April that I can start posting my March haul. Now that I have both the package I was waiting for and the motivation to do so. Um, so March was pretty unexpected, like most months are, but more so because I got two hauls in two different ways that I've never done before. So it was pretty exciting. And I actually found some books I'd never heard of before this way. So pretty excited to get into this one. So I'll start off with a small but great one. And this one comes from Brian's and Noble's shop, which you've heard me talk about before in many of my hauls. Brian has a great shop through Facebook and Instagram. I'll leave his Instagram link in the description below. But he always has really nice prices and packaging and fast shipping and all of that stuff. So, but what I got from him was it's called Eternity by Tamara Thorne. Of course, I was sold on the cover art, but I also love small town horror. So, yeah, so this was a no-brain grab for me. Um, the sign's like nice and embossed, which I like. And yeah, so definitely a cool cover. Sounds really nice. I'm definitely probably going to save this one towards the winter to read this year. But yeah. So next up is a trade from a friend of mine, Henry. So Henry, if you're watching this, thanks again, man. So Henry and I managed to make out a really wonderful trade, which is nice because it's been a little while since I've been able to actually trade with someone. So first up, I grabbed Relic by Douglas Preston and Lincoln Childs. I'll show the step back art here. Nice and embossed with a die cut here. If you saw my last haul, you'll saw that I got the sequel to this and could never find the original, the prequel per se. And Henry had it up for trade, so now I got it. Next up is a really cool one, both in cover and concept, and that's called Letters from the Dead by Campbell Black. Really, really awesome cover. Very, Day of the Dead-ish. Or Dawn of the Dead, excuse me. But yeah, so it's apparently a coming of age story, and it just sounds really, really, really good. Here, I'll read the blurb real quick. It says, "It was a dream vacation for two single mothers and their teenagers, shy, awkward Tommy and lovely, gentle Lindy. Miles away from anyone, alone in a long deserted house, with only the restless waves, the swirling sands, the winds that whispered in the night, until the children found an old game in the closet. A game that spelled out an ancient crime, an evil so hideous that the dead would not be silenced. I am all your nightmares. A little girl is standing in the rain. A man with burning eyes reaches out. A cry comes in the night, haunted with forbidden desire. Between the living and the dead, a terrible bargain has been struck, and two innocent children must pay with their bodies and their souls to satisfy a dark, undying hunger." So yeah, that sounds fantastic. Definitely look for a review at some point this year on this, because I have to get to this. This might be my first summer read, because it just sounds like a perfect summer book for sure. Definitely excited for that. Next up is The House of Cain by Ken Ulo, I'm going to assume. But very nice cover, very reminiscent of Ray Garton's Live Girls. Yeah, really, really nice cover. Next up is a very familiar name on the channel, Mr. Fred Saberhagen's An Old Friend of the Family. For some reason, this kind of like screams Jason Takes Manhattan to me. But yeah, I saw something, I don't know what recently, but Henry, you might have even posted this. It was like all of Fred Saberhagen's work, and I'm like, man, this guy wrote a lot of Dracula books. It's kind of funny. I'll have to read one of these times. Next up is John Tigge's Unto the Altar, which is a fantastic cover. Just absolutely love that. Yeah, really nice cover. Next up, we have The Cold One by Christopher Pike. Sorry if you can hear my stomach. I haven't had breakfast yet. Yep, very reminiscent to what is it that the House of Cain book we just saw. But yeah, I don't think I have too much of Pike's work. I know I have at least one, possibly two of his books. But I think this is my first, like, I would assume adults novel. Like, I know I have like a young adult one by him, but yeah. Next up is one I've seen posted before, and I really wanted to keep my eyes out for a copy of it, and thankfully Henry had one. And that is called Buried Blossoms by Stephen Lewis. Show the step back here. Awesome art in there. You know what I mean? Like the foreboding house, the kids looking through the window, the digging of the grave. Just really nice, really cool cover for sure. Let's see. Next up is The Death Stone by Ken Ulo. Ulo, feel free to help me in the comments there for future reference, because I haven't the slightest idea how to pronounce that. It's a pretty epic art there. So it reminds me of two different games from my childhood. One that's like super obscure is called oh my gosh, what was it? It's called Poltergeist. I can't remember the full name of it. But yeah, it was no, Haunting starring Poltergeist on the Sega Genesis. But if that's too obscure for you, definitely kind of gives off some Zombies Ate My Neighbors vibe. But I'm pretty sure this is like the third book in a trilogy. I think I have, what is it, The Brown Stone or something like that? And I think that's the second one. I think I need the first one in the trilogy. Next up is one I was really excited to see because I've never heard of it, never heard of the author before. And it's a subject matter that's like very rarely written about. I only know of two other books that kind of revolve around this subject matter. One of which I own, one of which I hope to own one day. But this is called On the Devil's Court by Carl Duker. Or yeah, like I said, please feel free to correct me in the comments if you know how to correctly pronounce that. But yeah, you very rarely see sports-based horror stories, even in like young adult situations. Like it's pretty rare to see sports-based horror. So I was definitely super excited to see this there. Like I knew that was honestly my first pick when out of everything he sent me, that was the first one I chose, like hands down. It's such a cool cover. Like it's definitely like super R.L. Steinish, but I love that. Let's see, and last but not least is The Dying by Leslie Horvitz. Fantastic cover. Nice and die cut. I don't think there's step back art. No, there isn't. But yeah, seems to be like another like kind of The Stand, Swan Song kind of situation, which I'm excited about. I love apocalypse, post-apocalypse, stuff like that. So this is right up my alley. Yeah, I think I'll try and get to this year, I think. But yeah, thanks again, Henry, so much for the trade, man. Always a pleasure. And hopefully we can do another one soon. Alrighty, so the next two hauls I have are the hauls that I got in different situations, that things I've never done before. So first up, I want to go through the haul that I won through an auction. There's this really nice member of the retro paperback horror art group, Tony Bacon, epic name, but yeah, he ran auctions for a couple of years, and he does one on Facebook every once in a while. Apparently this was his last one, which is like a super bummer. But I am, really happy I did get to at least take part in one, because I got after some books that I have both been after for a while and that I didn't know that I wanted until I saw them. And I got them for a great price. So I'm really excited to get into this one. First, and probably my favorite, is The Collector by John Fowles. And I absolutely love this cover. I've loved it from the moment I saw it on, I think it was Vintage Paperback Books. Somebody posted it. And I knew I had to have it. I love the font. I love the color scheme. Everything about it is just gorgeous. The attention to detail. Probably one of my favorite covers in my collection now, for sure. I definitely am going to end up displaying this on my shelf. I absolutely love this. Absolutely love that cover. Next up is The Foretelling by Carolyn Crane. Pretty neat cover, simple but effective for sure. Like I said, I like the thunderbolts in the back there. Really nice face on the cover, very, very nice looking attention to detail and things like that. So, pretty cool. Next up, I was absolutely excited to get, because I found the original in my last haul, if you saw it. So now I have the sequel, For the Love of Audrey Rose by Frank DiFolita. Another absolutely fantastic cover. Very excited to own this as well. And I got it for like, gosh, $4. Like, you just can't beat that. You really can't beat that. So I'm very happy to have won that. Next up is Ghostlight by Rick Hautala. It's an okay cover, but it's been a little while since I've added any of Rick's work to my library, so I'm pretty excited to add another one off the list. Kind of reminds me of a cover by Jack Ketchum, honestly, with the crossbow and everything. And last but not least is Far Cry by Michael Stewart. No, not the video game series, which, as fun as it is, yeah, pretty cool cover. Doesn't really remind me of anything. I try to think, but yeah. So yeah, that was everything I won from Tony's auction. So Tony, if by chance you're ever watching this, thank you so much for the chance to win those, and for hosting all those auctions all those years. That's really awesome of you to be such a good pillar in the community of book collecting. Like, not being a scalper and stuff like that. Like, that's super cool of you. So yeah. Alrighty, last and certainly not least in the haul. This haul I won from the app Whatnot, which I have never used before in my life. Um, I kind of randomly stumbled upon it because one of my friends opened up a shop through Facebook, and I was just kind of like, all right, I'll check it out and whatever. And by chance, I just happened to type in books into the search, and I came up to the first live feed that was going on, and right off the bat, within the shot of the person's stream, I saw that they had a book I've been after for a little while. So I was like, oh, cool. So I asked them about it, and I said, hey, do you have any other vintage horror? And they did, and I got a really good haul. Overall, I paid about $40 for the haul for the stack, but one book in here pays for that entire thing. So I'm pretty excited to get into this. So first off is I, Vampire by Michael Romke. Kind of reminds me of I, Robot, but yeah. Next up is The Virgin and the Vampire by Robert J. Myers. Kind of a cheesy cover, but, I always like those. Next up is Worst Nightmare by Rick Myers. Apparently this is Book of the Undead number 3. Kind of looks like Planet of the Apes to me. Which I still really want to read that. I'm really hoping I can find the first book somewhere in the wild. Next up is the book that I actually saw in the stream that actually kind of made me stumble onto this whole stack. And that is The Swarm by Arthur Herzog. So, yeah, I have an extreme phobia of bees. Why? Well, that's going to have to be a childhood story for when I review this year. Definitely a summer read, so look for a review on that this summer, too. Sorry, Nick. Childhood story will be this summer. Let's see. Next up, I got Invisible Fire by Pat Graverson. And I love this cover. Like, cats have always made me very nervous, very anxious. They're just really unpredictable. And, you know what? I'll give one example as to why. So, when I was probably 11 or 12, my cousin, he had a cat named Dookie. Great cat. But, there was one time Dookie was on my shoulders, and I don't know what happened, but for some reason he went in through my shirt and then slid down my back with his claws, like completely just tore my back up, and I was just like, it hurt so unbelievably bad. Like he dug his nails into my back and slid from shoulder to tailbone down my back. And it was just like some of the worst pain I've ever felt. So it's been like that's been like a whole traumatic instance of why I'm not really. I don't hate cats. I really don't. Like, they just make me nervous. Like, they make me really anxious. So yeah. But yeah, I always love them in covers. They give me that same anxious feeling. Like, just look at that cat. Screams evil. Little bit of damage, but you know what? I genuinely don't care because it's not on the important part of the cover to me. I can live with the title being damaged. As long as like the actual artwork is intact, I don't mind. Alrighty, and last is the book that pretty much made it all worth it in the end. I mean, any of it would have made it worth it to me, but I mean, value-wise, this paid for the entire stack in itself if I were to go the eBay route. Not only that, the concept sounds fantastic. Like, I can't wait to read it. And that book is called Makoto by Kelly Wilde. And that is just an insanely cool cover. Try to little bit better. There we go. Nice and in focus. There we go. Yeah. Great, great cover. Here, I'll read the blurb on this too. Meet Motoko Shirata Lee, living alone for the first time in her life. Japanese, a newly divorced mail-order bride, truly a stranger in a strange land, New York City. Mo's tiny basement apartment is no refuge from the city's turmoil and danger, filled as it is with memories of her life in Japan and of her brother, Matsuo, who committed seppuku when Mo was only 12. Matsuo's spirit is not at rest. Anger and frustration have slowly transformed it into an oni, a demon, hungry for its sister's soul. Growing ever stronger, it waits with eternal patience for the perfect moment to strike. When the oni smiles, Motoko calls on every strength she possesses. Only Makoto can save her. Excuse me. But yeah, as you know, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you know, I'm all about Japanese culture and storytelling, manga and anime and all that stuff. And I really love their horror because they genuinely focus on psychological horror, and they're just so good at it. But they also know how to bring up like some really intense gore as well when it's needed, and it fits the story when it needs to be there. So I definitely plan on reading this at some point. But yeah, that's everything I won from Whatnot for the first time. So yeah, that's everything I got for March, which not a huge haul, but I added a lot of great titles, I think, and I'm very, very happy with it. So yeah, that's going to be it for me today, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please feel free to leave a like on it. Subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll leave a playlist down below with some of my book reviews if you're interested. Until then, happy reading, everyone. Bye.